Hello, I'm Jake, Mr. Jake, and I'd like to recommend a movie. It is called In Bruges, and it takes place in a city called Bruges. It's in Belgium. In Bruges is a cross between a dark comedy about hitmen and a shameless self-promotion by the Bruges City Council. On one hand, we see the story of a failed hitman played by Colin Farrell. On the other hand, we are taken on a sightseeing tour across the city. Fortunately, these two blend together seamlessly, and unless you've seen one too many documentaries, you may not even notice. Not that there's anything wrong with documentaries, of course. I hear there's a really good one out there about koala bears. Wait, are they bears? Our hero Harry is a professional hitman who is no longer active but instead organizes the work of other hitmen like a businessman behind the scenes. You must understand, he's a respectable businessman who I'm sure pays tax just like you and me. The lead villain is Ray, played by Colin Farrell, a failed hitman who botched his first job and is sent by Harry to Bruges to lay low. Things don't quite go according to plan when Ray hooks up with a racist dwarf, gets into a fight with the boyfriend of an actress, and manages to piss off half of Bruges. That's when Harry, ever the professional, decides to come out of retirement for one night only, follow Ray to Bruges, and get things done. Because a real professional knows when to quit and when to unquit. Not that I would know anything about that, of course. Now, the movie is a dark comedy and it does the genre proud. Much humor comes from the absurd acts of violence and the foul language of both Ray and Harry, but especially Harry. Ray's utter failure to appreciate the simple pleasures of life in a calm, peaceful, poetic little town like Bruges makes him pathetic and amusing at the same time. Then there's the aforementioned racist dwarf Jimmy, played by Jordan Prentice, who smuggles quite a few politically incorrect jokes into the film both as victim and as perpetrator. In other words, this is a film that fans of controversial humor will absolutely love. These gritty and absurd elements of the film stand in stark contrast to the elegance of the location. You know, the city. Bruges. In Belgium. Because in case you forgot, this movie was funded by the tourism office of the Bruges City Council. They certainly got their money's worth because the filmmakers went out of their way to present Bruges in all its glory, taking the action from tourist attraction to tourist attraction. Basically, if you ever go to Bruges, you can try to trace Ray's footsteps through the film. Though I recommend you try not pissing people off as much as he did. Or rather, don't piss them off at all. And this brings me to the story of the film. You do remember there's a story here, don't you? And what a story it is! Ray botches his first job by killing an innocent 10-year-old bystander. Though I don't see a problem with that. The kid was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. What's a kid doing in a church anyway? Now, Harry thinks this was a huge mistake and decides that punishment is in order, though the nature of the punishment depends on whether we look at it from Ray's or Harry's point of view. Of course, since Ray's out-of-control antics drag Harry to Bruges, eventually we see an epic confrontation between Harry the hero and Ray the bad man. But don't expect a duel of epic proportions. As I said, Harry is a true professional. Ray, on the other hand, is a hopeless loser who clearly does not have what it takes to be a hitman. Who do you think is more likely to prevail? And that, I think, is enough about the story. I do not want to spoil the ending, after all. Suffice it to say that you will remember it, just like you will remember the name of the city where all these crazy events took place. Because they remind you of it in the closing moments of the film, in case you forgot. And in case you forgot, the city is called Bruges. It's in Belgium.